Open house, open house, open house, open house, open house, open house. Oh, there's another open house right there too. For sale. And that for sale sign has been there for over a year. Actually, when I started looking to purchase a home in Florida a year and a half ago, that for sale sign was there. Oh, there's another one right there. Oh, look, there's another one. Everything I just showed you, 6, 7, 8, 9 homes for sale are within a mile of my house. And I keep seeing more and more homes pop up for sale. And not only that, I get emails every single day, multiple per day, price cut alerts on Zillow through my email every single day. Now, realtors are gonna hate this video, but stick around. I rented a house for free for an entire year. I purchased a $75,000 piece of land through a tax deeded auction, and I purchased a $1.3 million home for half price. I rented a $2.5 million house for an entire year for free. I bought a piece of land from the county that was owed back taxes. I bought a $1.4 million home at a foreclosure auction, and I bought a $237,000 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo for $20,000, all within the past year. Now, there's a lot going on in the housing market, and this affects you all. Is it a good time to still be sitting on the sidelines, or should you dive right in? There's a lot going on in this video. I'm not quite sure the realtors are gonna love what I have to say. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. Let's dig right in. So I am in Florida right now, and the housing market is volatile. It is worse on the West Coast than it is on the East Coast, but I am getting Zillow price cut emails every single day, and not just one or two, like multiple Zillow price cuts daily. It is crazy what is going on in the world with the real estate market. Now, should we be sitting on the sidelines waiting and waiting and waiting, or is it time to purchase? Is it time to dive right in, invest in some things, and get something for yourself? I'm gonna explain what's going on in the housing market and maybe what you should be doing, maybe what you shouldn't be doing, and what I've been doing on the back end. This is part 2 to my housing and real estate series. Let's dive right into it. Now, this is an email newsletter that I receive monthly that I really like to receive. So it's my local real estate market update. As you can see, comparatively 2024 to 2025, there are 52 less homes sold this year compared to last year. That's a 9% change. Paid in cash, over 100 less sellers, 22% less people paying in cash, and the median sales price has gone down. Now, there's 53 less pending sales. It's a 9% decrease, and the number of listings have gone up. Pending inventory has increased from 727 last year to 939. We're talking over 200 more homes just in my town. That is a 30% increase in homes for sale, meaning there is a surplus in inventory compared to years in the past. Now, if you count that as months supply, there are 6 months worth of supply compared to people moving in, which is just amazing. Now, going to the neighborhood I just moved out of, here's the home we just moved out of, $2.5 million. Now, we couldn't afford that, but we can afford to rent it. Going to another one, now you can see how many houses just in that neighborhood alone are for sale. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for sale, and another for rent just in that neighborhood alone. So things are really changing in the Florida housing market, just in my town alone. And we live in a predominantly well-to-do town. South Florida is really, really successful. There's a lot of high dollar homes, and the values don't decrease like they do on the West Coast, like you'd be seeing in Coral Gables and everything on the west side of the state. So just some tips that have helped me grow my income and my net worth tremendously is sometimes knowing when to buy, sometimes knowing when to sell, and sometimes knowing when to hold. Sometimes I don't spend any money at all and I just wait on the sidelines. Now, what you'll see behind me is where I'm currently living, and it has been a stepping stool to get here. If you watched my flipping $400 to a Ferrari series, you know that I started with $400, bought, fixed, and sold cars until I could afford a Ferrari for $400. Well, on the back end, I've been doing that with real estate as well. This right here was my family home for almost 15 years. We raised 3 children and built an amazing life for ourselves and our family. We bought this as a short sale in 2010 for literally 1/3 of its current value, what we sold it for. Now, short sales were very, very popular when the market collapsed in 2008, 2009, 2010. When there was an abundance of inventory and no one was buying, the values dropped on homes lower than what people owed the banks. Now, short sales were very prevalent in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, because what happened, there was so much inventory and not enough buyers that it plummeted the values of homes. So people owed too much money on their homes and they weren't able to sell. Now, they didn't want to go into foreclosure. The bank didn't want to go into foreclosure and own those homes, so the bank accepted losses on those homes in order to sell the home instead of having them go into foreclosure. So they sold them short, meaning they sold them under what was owed on the mortgage. Now, the sellers got out of their home, they didn't go into foreclosure, and the banks didn't become real estate agents and holding inventory. So it worked out well for everybody, not so much for the banks as much as it did work out for the sellers that were able to get out of their homes. We, as a purchaser, purchased our home as a short sale, and we were actually paid the closing costs. So we bought our home at a discount, and the bank actually paid our closing costs as well. Fast forward 15 years later, that house built equity again. It grew in value where we were able to sell it and cash in on the equity long term. Now, that house never actually went into a foreclosure auction, but I wanted a house on a lake, and about 5 years ago, I was looking around and saw the prices were just really expensive. So I dug around in the auction pages, which I'm going to explain to you how those work shortly, and I found this home. Now, when you buy auctions, caveat emptor, buyer beware. You don't know what you're getting into, and it was an absolute disaster. I paid $130,000 for this house. We ended up having to tear it down because it was not salvageable, and then we built this. Now, we had a lot of fun with this home right here. We made some great memories with friends and families and got to experience literally the dream, to live near a lake and explore and vacation in our own backyards. It was amazing. But what I was seeing was that the market was really high and interest rates were climbing, and it was becoming unsustainable for a lot of people to spend all your money, more than a house should ever be worth, and also have an extremely high interest rate. Doesn't make much sense. How are people being able to afford this? It made me nervous, and I cashed out of our lake house, and I also sold our family home. And because the values were so high, I managed to convince my wife to sell our family home as well and move to this right here. Sunny, well, not so sunny right now, sunny Florida. So just like the framed quotes my wife posted on the walls of our homes, we lived, we laughed, we loved, and we experienced New Hampshire, and we loved it. But we saw the signs and wanted to change, so we cashed out of everything, and while the market was really high, we moved down to Florida. And although we wanted a home and to continue raising our family in it, it's just not time to buy, and it especially wasn't a year ago. And things are still changing, but there's no money to be made on the sidelines. Prices are regulating, and in this video I'm going to explain the do's and the don'ts of the housing market and things to look out for with the stats and what I'm currently doing. Let's start with my rentals. Now, I said there's no money to be made on the sidelines, but let's get into my rental and explain to you how I actually did make money and lived for free for an entire year. Now, I had told you I lived in a $2.5 million house for free for an entire year, and I also just said there's no money to be made on the sidelines, which is kind of contradictory to this next segment, because after cashing out of all of our assets in New Hampshire, we had so much liquidity that we were actually able to make money on the sidelines without ever having to spend a dime. Now, as I was living there, I wasn't really ready to purchase a home. I kind of sat on the sidelines and learned the market. I wanted to see how the Florida market was working, how the auctions worked, how tax deeded auctions worked, how foreclosure auctions worked, and just generally speak to many realtors to see what their opinions were. Now, I had told you at the beginning of this video, I get emails daily from Zillow on price cuts, and not just one, but multiple price cuts every single day. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about, why I did want to sit on the sidelines for an entire year to learn how the market was and appraise homes just mentally. Now, a lot of people didn't really understand why I moved to Florida. Number one, this is my backyard. There's a boat pulling in right now. My downtown is right there. I can take a boat to a restaurant with my wife in January. That wasn't a thing a year and a half ago, and this is it's just a lifestyle we wanted. Now, I didn't want to dive all the way in and buy a home. I wanted to learn how things worked down here in Florida, and it works pretty universally around the country. Now, I purchased some land first as a tax deeded sale. So I bought it at auction from the county, and I'm going to dive into the tax deed purchase, the land, and the process in a different video. I'm going to explain how to buy tax deeded homes and tax lien homes in a different video coming up in this series. From there, once I learned how the process worked, working through the court system, working with the clerks, and also the auction and the fees, I went and bought a house. Now, before I say now, look at this boat just going by. This is in my neighborhood. Unbelievable. Triple 300s on it. Incredible. I explained to you in part one that we have some construction going on in a foreclosure home. I had to evict someone. They lived here rent-free for many many months, and it cost me thousands of dollars. But on the back end, we walked into hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity on our foreclosure home, which I'm going to explain how that system works in an upcoming video. So we're going to explain how tax deed foreclosures work and how to find them in a video coming up. We're going to go through buying foreclosure homes at auction in a video in this series. Now this one's under construction, and we're currently moving in because we're moving out of our old house as this video is happening. Now the reason I purchased this, and this video is flip-flopping a little bit because I said don't buy, do buy, don't buy, do buy. You're not going to make a lot of money on the sidelines. Interest rates are coming down, the money market rates are going down, and even the bonds market is decreasing as well. So when money markets were at 5.5%, literally paying me 5.5% on $1 million, I was getting $55,000 a year in interest without ever spending a dime of our money. And as I watched the market and I learned how the market worked, I also explored real estate. What is it going for on the retail market? What are realtors selling properties in this neighborhood for, in this town, in this county, in Southeast Florida? What are values on homes going for? Now, it's not just going to be me talking the whole time throughout this video. I have a friend that's a realtor down here in Florida, and she's going to give us her perspective, her opinion, what she is seeing, and the truth. Not just, oh, you should go buy because I'm a realtor and I want your commission. No, we're going to get the firsthand opinion, what she's seeing on the back end. So this is now where I live, and this is completely unscripted. This right here is my realtor. She wasn't even prepared for the camera to be on yet, so no notes. You don't know what we're talking about. What we're doing here is just talking about real estate, general, the Florida housing market. So when I moved to Florida, you took me on a tour of basically everywhere I needed to know, showed me around, and I got the experience of where I wanted to live, thanks to you. As a realtor, what do you see in the housing market right now?
Lots of inventory. I tell buyers if they find something they love, they should make an offer, or they should go for it, because they're going to be crying this time next year if they don't.
Interest rates are going down. Supposed to. And that's going to change the market, wouldn't it?
It is.
So once interest rates go down, there will be more buyers, I assume. People are kind of sitting on the sidelines. What do you see about prices 2020, 21, 22 compared to now?
Well, prices are definitely decreased now. There's more inventory. Sellers are looking to move. So I say, if you're a buyer, you make an offer. If they don't take it, no harm, no foul.
Right.
Lots of secondary home buyers here, so lots of options. Buyers kind of have their pick.
Obviously, there is more inventory out there, but some people are still holding strong at their prices. So do you notice that people are falsely thinking that their values are higher than they are? What do you do in that type of situation?
I agree 100%. Some sellers, people that I have, they don't have to sell. So like, oh, let's put it on the market, let's start high, let's see what happens, maybe there's someone out there. I think a lot of the higher prices that aren't coming down, those are the type of sellers that aren't moving below that number.
People searching, like I think maybe go on Zillow and go 100 days back. What's listed 90 days ago? What's listed 3 months, 4 or 5 months ago? And look at those homes to see if they're motivated?
Yes.
Is that good logic, or how would you go about looking for that deal?
I'm gonna say it could go either way. I mean, I'm under contract with several homes that are new to the market we were under contract within 7 days, but those sellers were still motivated and they were excited to take an offer, and it came off list.
Okay.
One was 10% off list, the other 15%. They both appraised over value, which is awesome for my buyers. Wow. You just don't know the motivation of the seller. So it's great to look way in the past, but don't give up on the ones that are new to the market, because those sellers, they might need to move for work, or maybe someone passed away. Nobody knows. Or if you're looking to move to Florida, call me.
Okay, contact info is right here if you want to call Johnny and get more information about the Florida market and start your search. Do that again?
Oh.
That's when we're supposed to.
Damn it, no.
It happens when we're off camera, always.
No, that's what you should have. You shouldn't have even said anything. I have a guy purchasing a penthouse right now on the ocean, $430,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it needs love, but at the end of the day, if he did the right things to it, he could turn it and make a profit come season.
Oh, you do Airbnbs too. I forgot to mention that. So
I do, yes.
VRBO. You manage VRBO, you own VRBO, and you sell investment properties
for people, and then I help them bring in tenants to help pay and make a profit.
So if you're not looking to buy a house for yourself, more of an investment, you do that as well.
Right. Or if you're looking to retire down the road, you want to buy now, get something less than what you would be looking at in 5 to 10 years. We can always buy now, rent, and then when you're ready to move in, it's there for you.
Is now the time to buy?
Yes.
Now.
100% now.
Cool. All right. That's not me saying it. It's her.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now with this home, it actually was listed for sale for $1.5 million, so I was able to get into this house prior to it going to auction. I made an offer on this home before it went to auction. They declined my offer, so I bought it at auction the next day for $100,000 less than my cash offer was. But there's a huge backstory and a lot you need to know about buying from foreclosure auctions. Now, in this video and in part one, I explained that I purchased land, a condo, and a home all in the past year. I didn't dive right in. I did my research. I wanted to see how things were working, and I'm going to be building. Oh, that's an upcoming video. I don't want to give you a teaser on what I'm going to be building as well. The point of this video was to be aware of what's going on. I've owned a car dealership for 17 years, so I have seen the business model change drastically as the economy changes. When people weren't spending any money, we bought appropriate cars for people on a budget. When everybody had money through COVID, we were buying whatever people were buying. Lots of toys and boats and RVs and fun sports cars. But when things were bad, that doesn't mean I didn't buy anything for my car dealership, because if I wasn't buying, I wasn't selling, and if I wasn't selling, I wasn't making any money. It's the same thing with the real estate market. Now, yes, it is a lot more volatile, and if you speak to one of my closest friends in town is a realtor, and she was going to get herself a fans account because she is so slow. But that's a good thing. The price cuts that I keep seeing in emails on Zillow are a good thing for you and for realtors. For the past few months, I have been saving emails, and if you notice, every single one of these Zillow emails says price cut, price cut, price cut. This one's in my neighborhood, my previous neighborhood, and they have a price cut, a reduced price of $197,000, which is insane. They lowered the price $200,000 on this home in my previous neighborhood. Now, if we go up to this one, this is on my street, the street we just moved out of. Price reduced by $180,000. Now, that is an identical home to the one we just moved out of, the same design, the same color. And to be quite honest with you, that one's a little bit nicer than the one we just moved out of. It was custom made on the inside. $2.3 million. Now, this home, I could never afford the mortgage on it, but just by renting it, I was able to save thousands of dollars. I mean, this home's gonna be around $12,000 a month with principal, taxes, interest, and HOAs. And I was able to rent this house for my family for an entire year. Now, if you look right here, estimated price is $16,000 a month as a payment. That's principal, taxes, interest, insurance, and everything would be $16,000 a year. I was able to rent this house for less than half of that for an entire year. Now, if I keep going down right from the beginning, this is the newest price cut. I just got this email today, reduced by $100,000. A $100,000 price cut. That's how desperate people are getting to sell. Go to Commodore right here, $90,000. Now, we're not talking $10,000 and $15,000 price cuts. We're talking gigantic reductions, $50,000 reduction on this home right here. Go to this one. This one was in my neighborhood as well, $145,000 price cut on this home. And as you can see in this email, it just keeps going and going. $60,000 price cut, $105,000 price cut, $30,000 price cut, $690,000 price cut. Now, they call it a price improvement. This house was reduced by $690,000, almost $1 million. It's crazy. Stunning lakefront property, which means it's not real waterfront. Lakefront is like a man-made lake, gator pond. So that was just reduced by like 35%. Unbelievable. And that's what I'm getting daily. And I've been getting these for a year, which is why I sat and waited for a year before purchasing anything. We had that COVID tax where everyone flew into Florida, everyone wanted to move to Florida, jacked up all the prices because they were buying sight unseen, and then everyone was moving. Why? Because taxes went up, insurance went up, cost of living. It is so expensive to live in Florida, and what they say now is like New Hampshire rich is Florida poor, which is a real thing. I was very comfortable in New Hampshire, moved to Florida, and everything is more expensive to live here. I showed you my other realtor's email about how things are changing, how much more inventory there is available in just my town, never mind my county and this region of Florida. Now, we've already met with one of my realtors in this video who was really crucial in helping me figure out where I want to buy and what I want to spend. A realtor in my previous community has been sending me notices. She's been sending me monthly newsletters, and she's been sending me updates in the market every single month. It has been so vital to help educate me in the real estate market right now. So I'm going to put her contact info right here if you want to join her email list, and also her information in the description down below. Now, on top of that, 14 months ago when I came down to look, a friend of mine, Jarrett, was showing me around as well. He's been great sending me some commercial properties. His link is in the description down below too, and I have it right here. Now, it's been over a year since I sold my home in New Hampshire, and I get emails from that realtor as well, email telling me about the market and the industry, and it also gives me an automatic appraisal on my home. My home in New Hampshire is worth $25,000 less than I sold it for a year and 2 months ago. So by me selling it a year and 2 months ago has saved me roughly $25,000. Now the house that I just moved out of is not going to sell for $2.5 million. Now let's say all the houses in that neighborhood were worth 1.8 a year ago. Now they're worth 1.6. I spent the interest earned on renting that home, and it has depreciated more than the cost of rent. So say the rent for a year was $84,000, but the home depreciated by $200,000. Had I bought it for 1.8 a year ago, I actually would have negative equity. It would have cost me more to have purchased that home, not to mention the maintenance on the home. Renting a home was amazing. Anytime something was wrong, call the landlord. Hey, would you mind fixing this for me? It was done within days. There's a few things I have to say about this specifically. Is it time to buy? For me, it is. For you, probably yes too, because there is so much inventory out there that people are starting to rethink their prices. They're starting to be negotiable again. And they're also starting to do price cuts. They may have thought that home was worth $1 million when they listed it, but when nobody showed up to their open house, they're gonna start getting nervous. It is a buyer's market now, not a seller's market, which puts you in power. Just for example, I'm gonna go on realtor.com and type in Orlando, Florida. There are 6,295 homes and condos for sale just in Orlando. If I go to Tampa, there are 4,853 homes. Miami has 10,570 homes for sale. And if we go into smaller towns like Coral Gables, there are 482 homes for sale in a small town. Here's another really small town, Port St. Lucie, Florida has 3,572 homes for sale. That is a small town. Now let's say I want to move back to my home, back to New Hampshire. There are almost 8,000 homes for me to choose from. Let's just go into foreclosure auctions in Palm Beach County. This month alone, we have 6, 12, 17, and 9. So we have 26 just in the first week of August. From the 11th through the 14th, we have 17, 18, 19. We have another 17 and 3. Every day, there are multiple foreclosure homes going up for sale just through their county. So let's type on the 18th of August and see what's going through here. Auctions waiting. We have Lake Worth and Boca. We have some properties in Boca and Boynton. Let's go back to another day and we'll randomly pick the 28th. There are 4 homes going up for auctions, multiple parcels. There's a home in Boca. So if we look at this one right here, we just type in this address. It is going up for auction. That is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square foot home assessed at $635,000. And the plaintiff, meaning the bank, owes $547,000. So you could buy a $635 home just over what the owner owes the bank of $547,000. Now, when I was in my 20s, I wanted to buy my first home. I wanted to buy my first investment property. Nothing made sense. And honestly, if that feeling in your gut is telling you it doesn't make sense, trust your gut. It's a real feeling. If you can't afford a home payment, don't buy a home. I rented a house for half the price it would have cost me to have a mortgage on that home, and then it depreciated. Don't get stuck with an overpriced asset. You don't want to be the one short selling your house or going into foreclosure when you can't afford those payments. Interest rates are still pretty high. They're not high compared to what my parents were paying when they were my age, but they're still pretty high compared to what I have seen in my lifetime. Now, I have cousins in their 20s trying to buy their first home, and they can't afford it even on dual incomes. It doesn't make sense for them. And I keep telling, don't buy. Don't buy. Just save. Live with your parents. Rent a house. Save your money until prices come down. Now, if you really do want to buy, I showed you there are 5,000 homes in Miami. There are 5,000 homes in West Palm Beach. There are 5,000 homes in Orlando. That makes it a buyer's market. You have all the power. You have 5,000 homes to choose from. If you want to move to the small city of Port St. Lucie, there are 5,000 homes for you to choose from. That means 5,000 people are competing for your business. That is huge right now. It is time to negotiate. People still think their homes are worth more than they are, and they're not. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to sit with a for sale sign in their yard like the one up the street that I showed you from over a year ago when I first started shopping in Florida. I went house shopping for the first time April 2024. It's been a year and almost 6 months that house is still for sale. Why? Because they think their house is worth more than it is. They're still thinking 2020, 2021 prices. I'm not trying to sell cars at my car dealership for 2021 prices anymore. I'm trying to sell them for what they're worth in today's market, meaning you can negotiate. Shop, look for lots of homes, and make offers. Realtors should be working right now. For a long time, realtors were able to get lazy because it was, you want the house or not? You want it for asking price? You want it for over asking price or not? They didn't have to work that hard. Now the hustlers are the ones that are going to survive. If you're a realtor that's a hustler, you're going to do well. If you're not and you just want to be in 2021 where you can just take those cash offers, that's not a thing anymore. You got to be showing homes over and over and over and sending offers for your buyers. Don't be afraid to send in low offers. Something's going to stick. Is that seller motivated to sell it? Has it been listed for a long time? You can go on Zillow and work backwards. Go to the last page and see how long it's been listed for. Make offers on those homes instead of the ones that just came to market. Those are probably the most motivated people. Go to the auction sites. Now the problem with those are you have to be a cash buyer. You have to have the cash to purchase a home full, like within 24 hours. So that makes it a little difficult, but the power is in your hands. So if you're interested in purchasing a home right now or an investment properties have not come down in value yet, but residential homes have. We just have to wake up the sellers and let them realize it's not their market anymore. And those prices aren't realistic anymore. So once they do wake up, they're going to start selling. The market is flooded with homes all over the country, not just in Florida. So if you're looking to purchase a home, throw out those offers, shop, be the best buyer you can be, and then you're going to reap the rewards. It's time for the right people to be buying in the right places. Don't be afraid to just purchase what your realtor tells you to purchase or at the price your realtor thinks is fair. They get a commission for selling. They don't get a commission for working hard. Sorry, realtors, I know you're not going to like that, but you're the buyer. You're the one with the money. Make them work for their money. Make them work for that commission. Find the house you want at the price you want. Everybody wins. The realtor will get a commission. You'll get the house you want at your price, and the seller will be able to sell their homes. These homes are still coming down in value, and it's not going to stop. So if you want to move into a home, throw those offers out there. If you want to sell your home, take those offers while you can, because the market's going to continue to keep going down. It is not going to go up anytime soon. Now, I have one more thing for you to be aware of, and that's interest rates. Realtors are going to say, buy the house, not the rate. Refinance when the rates come down. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if the value on that house you just purchased comes down, you're not going to be able to refinance at a lower rate because you're going to owe too much money on that home. Don't buy the house, not the rate. Be aware. Buy the house at the right price. And then later, if the rates go down, you can still refinance. I know a lot of people from my generation, when they were in their 20s, that bought the house, and when it was time to refinance, the bank said, no, sorry, you owe too much on it. You have no equity. We will not refinance. Then you're stuck with the house. You're overpaying for it, and you're just watching it depreciate day by day. And I'm telling you, it hurts. Every time you get that mortgage statement, it stings. Or you let it go and it goes into foreclosure or short sale, and then it hurts your credit. Beware, there's a lot of things to think about when purchasing homes and real estate. I hope this video was helpful. We're going to dig into a lot more in this series. I'm going to show you the tax deeded property I purchased. Then I'm going to show you how you can purchase it. Then we're going to show you the backstory of our foreclosure home and how somebody had to get evicted, like with the sheriff, and God, what went into that one. And then I bought a murder condo. I'm going to show you how I bought a murder condo for the price of HOA fees. I know that one's intriguing. So there's a lot to learn in this series. I hope this video was helpful and informative. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later.